Hey folks, this is Rachel Parker with Resonance Content Marketing, and I'm coming to you today with another FTQ, that is a frequently tweeted question that we receive here at Resonance. And today I want to talk about LinkedIn. So I talk to people a lot and they say, I get a lot of invitations to connect on LinkedIn. Some from people I know well, some from people I know as acquaintances, and some from people I don't know at all. Which one should I accept? So the first thing I want to do is talk about what being connected means on LinkedIn. Number one, you'll be able to see each other's full profiles. So on LinkedIn, you have a public profile, which is kind of a bare bones that anyone can see, and then you have your full profile, which shows your entire experience, your education, even the groups that you're connected with on LinkedIn. And so if you connect with someone, you'll be able to see each other's entire profiles. You'll also appear in each other's database of connections, and this is important because some people, myself included, use LinkedIn as a virtual Rolodex. So sometimes if someone asks me for if I know someone who performs a particular service, if I can refer someone to them, and I don't have that information, if I don't have anyone in my address book that fits the bill, I will immediately go to LinkedIn and see who I'm connected with. And yes, I have referred business back and forth with people I know only on LinkedIn. So important to remember that you will come up in each other's database of connections. And finally, this is an important point. By default, you'll be able to see each other's contacts. So if you connect with someone who has 200 contacts, you will be able to see the names of those contacts. But that is all. And actually, even seeing the contacts is a privacy setting that can be disabled. But I think that's important because sometimes people are reticent to connect on LinkedIn because they want to protect their contacts. I met someone at a networking event recently, and he said, I don't do much on LinkedIn because the connections I do have, there are a lot of CEOs in there and a lot of people very high up in their organizations, and I don't want some stranger coming in and spamming these people. And I had to tell him, being connected with someone does not give them open access to your contacts. In fact, if you turn on this privacy setting, they can't even see your contacts. So if you've been holding back because of that reason, rest assured that LinkedIn is very careful about that. So no need to worry about protecting your contacts. So just a few words about how I use LinkedIn. The first thing I use LinkedIn for is to make my in-person networking what I call sticky. So I go to a lot of networking events and breakfasts and lunches, and I meet a lot of people, and when I come home with those business cards, the first thing I do is connect with those people on LinkedIn. I'll send them an invitation and say, hey, it was great meeting you at this networking event. Please join my network on LinkedIn. And that way, it's not just a one-time passing interaction. We are connected with something that's a little more solid than just having each other's business card. Another thing I use LinkedIn for is as a networking source in its own right. So if you are active on LinkedIn groups, you'll know that those are a fantastic opportunity to connect with people who are in your industry or in complementary industries, and that you can refer business back and forth to. So just a little bit about how I use LinkedIn. Another thing to remember is that LinkedIn is not Facebook. So if you have privacy concerns, just remember that you're not going to go to LinkedIn and put up family photos or the video from your birthday. There's not going to be tagging going on. It's a very professional network, and by and large, it's pretty darn civil. So I would not have the same concerns that I would have connecting with someone on Facebook. Okay, so let's say you do get a connection request from someone you may not know personally. There are a few things you can ask yourself. Number one, do we have connections in common, and do I trust those common connections? So whenever you get that invitation, you'll be able to see which connections you have in common and look at those people and say, okay, do I trust these people? Are these people connected with my business, and would I trust them to introduce someone to me? Second question, does this person seem to be a good contact for my business? Are they a good fit to my network? And that could be based on industry. It could be based on job title if you target people at a certain level in an organization. It could also be location if your business is important who is in the geographical area. You're going to want to look at their location. And I have gotten out of the blue invitations from people. I think I got a request from a real estate developer in Argentina, and God bless him. I'm sure he was a nice guy, but that person and I have absolutely nothing in common business-wise. And finally, I would take a look at their public profile and say, okay, do I get a good vibe from this person's profile? And yeah, that sounds really loosey-goosey, but just look at what they do have up there and see what kind of feeling you get from it. Generally, if I see a lot of spam words, if I see people being overly promotional on their LinkedIn profile, I'll be less inclined to connect with them. So just kind of see what they have out there and see if you think they're trustworthy. Finally, once you connect with the person, you can absolutely remove them from your contacts at any time. So just like you can unfriend people on Facebook or unfollow them on Twitter, you can also remove those contacts on LinkedIn. So to sum up, LinkedIn is a tool, and I recommend you use it any way you feel comfortable. That said, it's most powerful when it's used as, number one, an extension of your in-person networking and as a networking tool in itself. And finally, overall, connecting on LinkedIn does not evoke the same privacy concerns as Facebook because it is a professional environment where we share professional information. So I wouldn't want you to worry about that. So I hope I've been able to answer that question of who to connect with on LinkedIn. If you have any questions about this subject or if you have a suggestion for our next FTQ, go ahead and hit me up on Twitter. You'll find me at @ResonanceCont. That's it for today, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.